What's going on, people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I guess I decided I'm gonna the TikTok, bro. The videos I make are too long for TikTok, so I think it's probably a bit boring for the people on TikTok. So I just upload videos here on YouTube. Um, like I said yesterday, well, I'm not sure if I said this yesterday, but I'll talk like football, and then maybe like when I go to the store and buy like food or whatever, like I'll do a vlog, I guess, or even though I don't know how to do a vlog. I feel awkward doing a vlog, but like maybe when I go do, like, I don't normally do a lot of groceries, but when I go to the store, I just maybe sort of dive deep into some of the stuff that I eat. I'm very fascinated with like food, in terms of I like paying attention to what I eat, because I think I think we've lost the idea of good food as today's generation. And what I mean by that is, like, there's a lot of foods that we eat, but we don't really pay attention to what we're eating. Some people may think that's like just overthinking things and everything, but like I think, for example, if you go to the store and you buy like milk, for example, we buy store from Spar, from Pick and Pay, whatever, you buy milk. If you read on the label, it's like it says UHT process, which is ultra heat treatment. I learned that in technology in grade 9, I think. Basically what's happening is they take the milk that you would otherwise milk from, like, well, you would milk a cow and get the milk, and then you heat it to kill the bacteria. That's why it can stay in the shelves for like 6 months and then it doesn't go off. But if you look in the internet, we've kind of been convinced by mainstream media and mainstream sort of like advertising that raw unpasteurized milk is bad for you. But this is the same milk that our moms and uncles and grandmothers and grandfathers grew up on, because back in the day, like 50 years ago, 100 years ago, people had cows. They didn't work like in terms of go to, like, you stay in Joburg, you work there, whatever. There were people who worked in mines and everything, but like most people would stay like in the homesteads, and then they would have cows and they would milk the cows and they would drink the milk, right? The only thing is, obviously, business wise, that's not really a good thing, because raw milk, which is not heated, goes off very quickly. Like, you can't just leave it. If you leave it without putting it in the fridge, it probably can't last even 5 days. If you put it in the fridge, you probably have to consume it within 5 to 7 days. Otherwise, it's going to go off and it's going to be harmful for you. Obviously, if you're trying to run a business, you can't do that. So you heat it so that you can make it stay in the shelf for over 6 months, and then you can still sell it to people and make money. So that's basically my logic with it. So that's why I'm saying I like to pay attention to the things that I eat. So maybe when I go to the store, I buy, normally I want to get into the habit of buying raw milk, even though it's hard to find, but there are some places here in Cape Town where I can get it. Sometimes you can't get it because like the farms here are towards like the northern suburbs, which is quite far from me. It's like 30 kilometers. So I have to basically drive 30 kilometers there and then come back, which is 60 kilometers. That's a lot. So yeah, anyway, I went on a rant there about food, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of the things I will do on this channel, but I also talk about football because I love football and I watch football quite a lot anyway. So I think it's just, yeah, and I like talking about it. Most of the time I talk to myself at home because I don't have anyone to talk football to. So I'll just do some videos. I just wanted to like react to so yesterday, before the game started, when we played Bournemouth, we signed Bouaddi from LOSC Lille. Now, I won't pretend like I know the guy in terms of I have watched him. I've never watched the guy play. I watched the game in the World Cup, Brazil versus Morocco, when Morocco won the game. Morocco are really good in the game. In fact, did they win the game? I'm not actually sure about that. But I do remember Morocco scored first, then Brazil scored because Vinicius Jr. scored. But I think Morocco scored a second goal and they won the game. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But thought he was really good in that game. But that's the only game I've watched of Bouaddi. I don't know how good he is, but that's not my job, I guess. I'm not a scout for Manchester City. They've signed the player. We've signed him for like £86 million. So surely they think that there is enough potential in him, because he's an 18-year-old, and you don't want to put too much pressure on an 18-year-old. But they surely think that there is enough in him to get into the first team and improve our first team. Obviously, we've lost Rodri, who's a legend of the football club. I know, like, the YouTube community, especially the Manchester City community on YouTube, are calling Rodri a snake and everything. But I don't like to be bitter when players leave the football club. That's just how football works. Sometimes people want to leave. Rodri's from Spain. He wanted to leave, wanted to go to Barcelona. It is what it is. He's gone now. Don't really care what he does. He's not a City player anymore. So good luck to him. It is what it is. I don't like dwelling on like, oh, how we're going to cope without Rodri and this, that. It's like, bro, do me a favor. Like, he's gone. It is what it is. Like, we don't need him. I presume that we will sign more players this week because I think the transfer window closes on Sunday because yes, it is the 27th of August on Wednesday. Yeah. I think the 1st of September is on Sunday. I'm not sure though, but I think no, it's Monday next week. Or is it? No, it's not Monday next week. It's actually Tuesday next week because I'm writing a test on the 2nd of September and it's on Wednesday. Yes. So the transfer window closes next week, Monday. So a week from today, the transfer window is going to close. I presume we'll sign a lot of players until then because we have sold Mamouche, we have sold Savio both to Tottenham. It looks like we're going to sell Nico Gonzalez because it looks like Maresca doesn't rate him and he's been linked to Newcastle. That leaves our midfield options with Elliot Anderson, Ayub Bouaddi, Mateo Kovacic. Who else? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yes. I don't count Rico Lewis as a midfielder because I don't think he's a midfielder. Yeah. Or Mateus Nunes. So it's just Ayub Bouaddi, Elliot Anderson, and Mateo Kovacic. I think we're going to sign at least 2 more midfielders. Okay, let me say at most 2, at least 1 more. Because obviously it's difficult to sign players. I'm not sure. We're linked with Enzo Fernandez. I'm not sure if we're going to get him because it's quite expensive from Chelsea. But like I said, I will make predictions on how I think the league is going to go by next week, Monday. So that I can revisit them when the season is over and see if I'm actually correct. I'm only going to predict like maybe top 4 or top 6 because I don't watch the other teams regularly enough for me to make predictions on them. So, because sometimes I don't even watch the games like Arsenal play or Man United because I don't have the time to do that. Because I have to, like, even now I have to go study because I'm writing a test on Wednesday. So, yeah. But, yeah, I think Ayub Bouaddi is a good signing for us. And I think if we can sign at least 1 more midfielder, if not 2 more, ideally if we can sign 2 more midfielders and then sign a winger, I think that's going to be a good transfer window for us. And I think that's enough for us to get until at least January for us to basically see what's going to happen. Like in terms of see the performance of the team in the first half of the season and then see if we can make further improvements in January. But I think that's going to be a good transfer window from us. Let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, I already went into detail with the game yesterday. I thought it was a good win, good scrappy win, average performance to say the least, but first game for Maresca. I don't count the Community Shield as a competition. I think that's pre-season. I know maybe some Arsenal fans are gonna like say it's not pre-season because they beat us, but I don't really care what happens in the Community Shield if I'm being honest. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a very, very interesting season. There's gonna be lots of ups and downs. Like I said, I'll try and do videos here like quite regularly. Obviously, I can't talk about football tomorrow probably unless we sign someone. So I'll probably make a video going to the store and buying like some, I don't know, meat or whatever I go and buy, or when I'm coming here on campus, because like I can't obviously speak over and over again about the same thing. That's why I'm keeping like the channel open. I'm not gonna say this is a football channel, but I will talk about football. I don't normally talk about politics or things like that because I just find that really frustrating at times, especially in the South African context. But maybe I might dive into that as well, even though I'm not really familiar with politics and everything, because I try and not follow too much of politics. Well, not try and not follow too much of politics, but I try and not pay too much attention to it, because I think it can get really toxic when you focus on politics, because you start seeing South Africa as this worst place to live because of the lack of governance and there's so much crime and all of this. So I don't want to be like too negative. So that's why I don't necessarily like to pay too much attention to the news or politics. Like, for example, if you go in the news now, you're going to see high cost of living, how expensive fuel is, how expensive food is, and all of that. And I think that is true. It is very expensive. I also feel it. But like I said, I don't like to act like everything is all doom and gloom, because then it makes it's just like that just weighs you down. It makes everything feel like it's the worst, like it's the worst place to live in. and we can't even afford fuel, we can't afford food. And so like I try and find the best way to say it is I try to find the positives. So that's why I don't like to focus too much on politics. So yeah, but maybe I might talk about politics, so who knows, I don't know. I just want to be active on this thing, because I've always thought of doing a YouTube channel, not for like money or anything, because I know people get paid with YouTube, like with views and everything. I don't want to be famous or anything like that, but I just like to share my thoughts, especially when it comes to football. So that's why I thought maybe I should start a YouTube channel. So yeah, but thank you for watching the previous video. Please watch this one as well, like it, because I think apparently that helps the algorithm sort of circulate with different people. But yeah guys, maybe I'll also dive deep in terms of what I'm doing at university and the kind of stuff that I do. Like I'm a maths and stats student, sort of give like advice, because I'm sure there's a lot of students right now that are in high school. Maybe they might see this video, they want to apply to university. I'm at UCT, so I know a lot of what happens at UCT when it comes to a BSc degree, because I'm doing a BSc in mathematics and statistics, but I'm also quite familiar with what happens in actuarial sciences, because that's what I wanted to do when I came here. So I know the ins and outs of every course that you have to do when you're doing actuarial sciences, how the exemptions work and everything, because I also have some friends who are doing actuarial science here. So maybe I might do that as well. So yeah, thank you for watching the video guys. Please like the video, and then yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.